Hello and welcome to what will be the Bridon Open Cup here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be best of ones throughout the day. BBC are going to go up against the Little Busters Forever, currently tagged as Xantic. Everybody's failed, however. They need to play on Lux server, so it looks like we're going to have a remake. I'm Gredis V, and throughout all of these games, I should be joined by D Swordfish, or at least for the first one.
Hello there, D Swordfish here, and glad to be joining you for these couple of games if we can get the servers ready, because there seem to be some small server issues right now.
Yeah, looks like they're pretty major, actually. Most of the players from BBC have actually failed to load in, so we are actually going to abandon this lobby and look for another one.
Hopefully. Hopefully we can actually have a game.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Hopefully, everybody will also be able to decide on the server. Looks like there's a little bit of issue when it comes to that, as BBC want to play on Lux, and, well, as far as Little Busters are concerned, it looks like they're not too happy about that.
Oof, 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 oof. Now it seems like they're having some slight issues here. Uh-oh.
Yep. Well then, as far as the teams that are actually playing, BBC are going to be playing with we actually, so they are going to be going for more or less their old lineup, except it's going to be plus Miracle and Yapzor, so yeah, just more or less with we. As far as Little Busters are concerned, I've actually never seen them play in JDL or any other league for that matter. It seems that the only thing on record is Bridon League.
Yeah, it's true. I've only seen them in Brighton, but they've actually been having these performances where they do lose, but they offered a good fight every time. Actually, in the other group stage, I forgot, but it was actually them offering us the closest games. So, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job, to be honest. Hopefully, we can see them play today, though.
Definitely so. It looks like we're just waiting on the last player from BBC, and then we can actually load in. Outside of that, there's not really much to talk about previously. BBC have been doing very well inside this tournament, currently sitting at 4-0. If they secure a win in either this game or the next game, they will be #1 seeded inside this group, and they're already guaranteed to be in the upper bracket.
So it is going to be Little Bombers, the guys who are going to take out BBC from their first spot, or maybe they're just going to give it to them. It's really up to them whether they get it or not. Right now, they're still within the first two, if I'm not mistaken, so they're going to be pretty happy regardless.
Definitely so. Right now, Little Bombers are unfortunately in a situation where if they do not win this game, they are really not going to have any situation where they can be bumped up. If they do win it, however, they will be tied with X Game, and we'll have to see how those all work out in tiebreakers.
Oh, that's actually very true. X Game did lose the earlier game today, which was kind of a pity, but they lost to BBC, so maybe BBC can get Little Busters as well and bring him down a level, or maybe they can actually force a tiebreaker because they might lose this one depending on the server issues they're having.
As far as what BBC are actually going to play, since Wii is back with them, it's not impossible to see a Meepo, and they've already proven that even without Wii, they're more than comfortable with running that hero, so I would not be surprised, even in the first stage, to see that respect band.
Yeah, that is actually, I mean, I would maybe ban the Meepo, but the Brewmother is definitely the better ban here, and perhaps an IO as well. For Little Busters, the Brewmother has actually played a lot by BBC lately, so they excel a lot with her. Bridon plays a very good Brewmother as well, so I understand the ban as well.
Definitely so. There's a lot of heroes that you want to ban out against BBC, as their hero pool is just so deep, and a lot of different directions that they could take it in. They'll first ban out the Ancient Apparition, so maybe we're in for a very early Necro from BBC.
That would definitely be interesting to see that. The Ancient Apparition, I mean, it's also a solid hero in general, so there's that. I mean, it's like always a good ban. I've fallen off a little bit, but obviously it's never a bad ban. I wonder what Busters are going to do now. Like you said, the such a large hero pool means that whatever you ban, you kind of force them into a strategy. And they're going to take out a Juggernaut. I mean, very popular pick lately, I guess. There's that really about it.
Yeah, there definitely is. They're going to ban the Juggernaut, and, well, the Brewmaster's been banned out by Balkan Bears. For now, these are pretty standard heroes in all of these. pick and ban slots, and that's probably not going to be changing for quite some time. We'll have to see. The Axe is potentially going to dissuade BBC from going for that Meepo, but there's still plenty of very comfortable heroes for them to pick up.
It's interesting how the Axe has actually become a top tier pick lately. Slowly but steadily, he's been climbing up the ranks, and now it's almost always a first pick, a first ban material. Actually, especially in Bridon League, I've actually seen so much Axe. They can combine it really well. Sadly, they don't have an ancient apparition, but they can combine it with other such supports as maybe Witch Doctor or any sort of big ultimate support, and it's kind of like a mini Enigma. Very useful. BBC might want to pick up the Zeus in this case, or some other magical damage dealing hero to deal with the Axe, because its high armor is actually quite hard to deal with. So, BBC now is their turn to pick. Any strategy you are thinking about right now, Grandis?
Oh, not really in particular. For now, they'll settle on the Slark and just a really good all-around mid-game oriented hero that can scale very well into the late game and fights well at most portions of the duration of the match, and something that BBC are very comfortable with running. Although they do have the Axe to taunt him to lock him down while he's inside that Shadow Dance, as well as to burst him down to Culling Blade. Generally, Axe is pretty good against Slark. It doesn't outright dissuade you from going for it, and I still think it's a solid pick.
It's a good pick, especially on Padrino. It's one of his favorite heroes after all, so it is definitely a good pickup on him. Again, the Axe, though, like you said, could be potentially dangerous. If Little Busters go for another, I don't know, any sort of nuker, maybe a Lina, they've run that before, a Lion, anything of the sort, Stark might start being in trouble and might need to pick up items like Scotty or Lincoln sooner rather than later to just kind of boost up his tank. So, I don't know, BBC is kind of running into pretty dangerous ground, but if they can combine the Stark with other good pickups, they should be okay. This next pick might be the first support of the game, perhaps.
Yeah, honestly, that line you mentioned earlier on, or the Vengeful Spirit that we're all too accustomed to seeing, could be very nice for him, but BBC gonna snag up the Tiny, opening up with 2 melee heroes up against an Axe. It's pretty ballsy. It looks like BBC, they have a specific idea in mind, and they're gonna go for it no matter what Little Busters pick up.
Interesting. What's the last time you've seen a Tiny without an IO?
Well, I would expect that they want to pick up the IO, but it's probably going to be banned out away from them by Little Busters, so it really has been quite a long time. Usually you wait until you can pick both of them up at the same time before going for that combination. Yeah, it's very interesting.
I actually kind of hoping that they ban the IO, or that they're not planning on using the IO, because it's been so long I've seen just Tiny solo, or Tiny obviously with some other sort of companion, and I'm kind of interested to see it. I've always with Little Busters, I would definitely ban out the IO though in this next pickup. BBC actually banning out the Zeus, so they're losing their own counter to the Axe. I mean, there's still a lot of other magical damage dealing heroes, so they're gonna be okay for now.
Definitely so. It is going to be that IO taken out by Little Busters. No big surprise there. Without the IO, Tiny might be more inclined to go into some more mobility-focused items. If he wants to really invest hard into the mid-game, we're probably going to see, I don't know, something interesting, at the very least, from Vulcan Varus. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be as far as their supporting duo is concerned.
I mean, to be fair, that's always the feeling you get with BBC. It's gonna. I know we're gonna see something interesting. I just don't know exactly what they're planning on it. But yeah, with a Tiny, it's just I like this. Do you think it's gonna be a run mid, or perhaps carry position, maybe even the off lane?
I think it's going to be a mid-Tiny for Wii, and then they throw the Slark towards the safe lane, still leaving them with off lane and supports to pick up.
Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. Something I think it was BBC as well who run the support Tiny long time ago with the techies combined as a joke in the joke game. Maybe they end up liking that strategy. I'm just putting it out there like as a possibility because it actually went really well for them. So you never know. I mean, they are a pretty crazy team. They could be doing kind of that kind of stuff.
One can always hope, I think. That's...
Yeah, I'm definitely crossing my fingers right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see what it is. It's interesting to see them use this much of their reserve time. When you snap pick a Slark and Tiny, one would think that you have something deeper in mind. If they're going for something standard, a Vengeful Spirit would combo very nicely with both of these heroes, and I think that's probably the easiest or first pick that comes to mind, but we are talking about BBC here. I'm not exactly sure if that's the plan.
Yeah, like you said, I hope they're not like thinking of the strategy on the go, or they misclick the Tiny or something of the sort, but I mean... If they want to go for a safe pick, like you said, Venge is good. There are a couple more, I guess, typical supports to the pool. There's still the Witch Doctor if you want to pick that up, which goes pretty well with the Tiny, I guess, because you do have the pushing power. I mean, there's the Lina, but they're gonna go.
It's going to be a Lich for them, and a pretty good pick as well. They have a decent amount of minus armor as well as physical damage from the axe that they're going to have to deal with, and it does patch up a lot of the weaknesses, especially of the Tiny, who doesn't start out with the most of armor, and especially until you get points into craggy exterior, is very susceptible to axe. And so I think it's a decent pickup for them, although not exactly the flashy support that I was hoping for. Oh dear, looks like I've actually lost connection with the Swordfish. Looks like the stream's online, so it's on his end and not mine, at least for the next couple of minutes. Hopefully it won't be too long. It will be a solo cast, but yeah, it should be resolved shortly either way. Little Busters Forever right now do have the option of potentially going for some creep cutting, but with the Lich as well on the table for Balkan Bears, they do have ways to punish that a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the course of action for them. Little Busters, despite having the Axe and Dazzle, heroes that would like to be played a little bit more aggressively, or at least enabled to play more aggressively, they have more than enough tools to just sit back, defend the farm of the safe lane carry, throw the axe towards the jungle for a couple minutes as he farms up his blink as they wait for that. Really, Little Busters haven't shown much of their true plan, and it looks like the call has completely dropped. I'll try recalling our friend Mr. Swordfish, and hopefully we'll get back in here shortly. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what Balkan Bears end up settling upon for their next support and their offlane. Really, Conventional Wisdom doesn't end up working out very well here. Balkan Bears know what they're comfortable with, and they're comfortable running it. And if they have an idea that's a little bit off the wall, they're also not afraid of trying it, which makes them a lot of fun to watch. Okay, looks like I have D-Swordfish back.
Yeah, I'm back. Thank God. Sorry about that small internet issue there. Now reconnecting into the game, and what have I missed during the draft, Mr. Gandis?
Absolutely nothing except for a Lich pickup. They've actually burned through completely all of their reserve time, save 20 seconds of it.
Well, now they're going to pick up the Abaddon. Interesting pickup with a Dazzle. It's going to be really hard for anyone to die, and they might go for a very heavy Axe core lineup with this Abaddon and Dazzle. He's really going to have a really hard time dying.
And right now, for Balkan Bears, their hard lockdown is entirely inside the avalanche toss of the Tiny, and really, that doesn't cut it. I would also not be opposed to them going for a super mobile carry, maybe something along the lines of a Weaver, Ember's Spirit, and just enable them to play their game without much the BBC can do about it at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree. Weaver would actually be a really good pickup. I haven't seen Weaver in a long time, but BBC going for a Magnus themselves. Magnus Tiny, pretty dangerous combo. Maybe if you want to go for Ags Lich, which is always fun to see, it's also really good combined with those two. So perhaps that's the plan for BBC. Go for this amazing team fight, and Little Busters going for the Storm Spirit, similar to the pickups you were mentioning.
Yeah, definitely so. Just a really super mobile carry, and although it isn't going to be as explosive late game as like an Ember Spirit or maybe even the Weaver, it's still going to offer them a lot of ways to control up Balkan Bears without really much in return to stop the Storm Spirit. Unless they're committing an RP, I don't really see the Storm dying unless he gets really overzealous.
Yeah, if they finish this lineup, I think with a Weaver, that would be pretty perfect, in my opinion. Put the Axe perhaps in an offlane position, it's not that big a deal. Or maybe even dual lanes, because you do have an Abaddon, you do have an Axe and a Dazzle. Dual lanes would actually work very well. And Weaver would actually be pretty strong, even with the strong RP and Tiny and whatnot there. I would definitely agree with you. BBC, on the other hand, are missing a support, unless they want to run something weird here. What do you think their support should be?
Honestly, I'm pretty lost for thoughts. I still think that Venge is really solid. The Techies is actually going to be banned out by Little Busters, respecting maybe some big RP into Toss and Suicide Explosion Death of Doom. I'm not exactly sure if that's what BBC were thinking of, but it makes me kind of sad that it's banned out. I would have loved to see it.
Yeah, honestly, if they were thinking about that, that's bad, Little Busters. We shouldn't have done that. That's mean. The viewers were waiting for that Techies pick. That would have been really interesting to see. And maybe their strategy is now ruined because they can't pick Techies. I mean, they seems like they're going to random, actually.
Well, they've already gotten a random ban. It's going to be last pick Meepo for them, so if it's not for the Techies, I'm sure the viewers are going to be more than happy with seeing a Wii Meepo, or maybe even a Miracle Meepo if Wii is going to be handling one of the other heroes. There's a lot of different ways that you can shuffle around these heroes for these players. I think it's safe to assume that Bridon is going to be playing on the Slark, but outside of that, Honestly, I have no idea. Either Miracle or Wii Meepo are both very fun to watch, but that said, there are a lot of tools on Little Busters that can deal with the Meepo. Blinking Axe and Jumping Storm are among the worst to deal with.
That's very true. Like you said earlier in the matchup, Amiibo against an axe is really not the best of pickups. Obviously, the Coaling Blade, I mean, the Hex, Counter Helix, sorry, they're just really strong. So this hero is going to have quite a hard time unless they manage to get some very good combos off, and that's probably what they're going for right now.
Last pickup for Little Busters is going to be a Timbersaw for them, going to offer them a large chunk of damage, and another hero that really deserves lockdown, that is lacking from Balkan Bear's lineup. It feels like they might be in a little bit of trouble, but that said, it's always hard to count out a Wii Meepo, and for now, it looks like that's exactly what it's going to be. As far as the other heroes are concerned, however, Pedrino's picking up the Slark to start things off. Yapstor on the Tiny Miracle on the... Okay. Huh. Let's see if they actually switch these around, because this is not what I was expecting. Maybe they are going to do something weird.
I mean, you never really know. What is really weird in this kind of situation for a team like this? Like, you never really know what weird is anymore.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. And it should be a lot of fun. Right now we're just waiting for BBC to snag up that last hero before we load into the game. Hopefully there's no huge issues. Usually it's Yapsor to have the connectivity issues on BBC, but for now, oh, it looks like we're back in and ready to go. On the BBC side, Yapsor is going to be handling that Tiny, and for the rest of the heroes, they actually haven't switched around. We going to be playing on the Meepo Miracle, on the Slark Livy going to be playing on the Magnus, and Pedrinho going to be playing on the Lich.
And as for the other team, the Little Busters 4, we're going to have FN mid on the Storm. Bottom, we're going to have dual lanes with Agistave. Yeah, Agistave on the support Dazzle, followed by Bad, the Axe in the core position. And up top, we're going to have Zijik on the Abaddon, ZJK, sorry, on the Abaddon. And Oxen on the Timbersaw.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. It looks Cyrillic to me, but I could be completely wrong.
We're going to go with Oxen. I'm sorry, man.
Yapsor. Yapsor. What are you doing?
Oh my god. Uh-oh. This is not good. Yapsor's trying to run away. He might actually make it, though. He has boots, so at least he went for the strategy on purpose.
I have no idea what they actually gained out of that, other than knowing that Storm Spirit was going to the mid. And honestly, I don't really see them going for anything but Storm mid. Axe mid could work, especially if it's a matchup up against Meepo, but it's actually going to be a safe lane farming Meepo, or maybe even a support Meepo. Axe as well as Dazzle looking to wrap around. Bad going to pump into 3. Can he actually do anything? Looking to secure this bounty rune. He's going to sit right on top of it and put some axes into Wii. Axe is going to secure the bounty as Timbersaw gets the one up towards top and a slight advantage. Toss away from the Meepo. Going to keep him safe as they look towards the Dazzle for first blood. Wii going boots first. He has one into the Earthbind going to net down this Dazzle, and it looks like Dazzle is going to be forced to put Shallow Grave level 1 and still might not make it out of the woods yet. With boots on most of these heroes, one right click from Livy is going to be enough to draw the first blood, and well, this is not the lane I was expecting. We have a triple melee bottom.
Against an axe as well, so definitely smart plays here. And also, I don't know, the first play of seeing a Tiny halfway through the map, it's definitely a weird game for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. For now, I think the plan of action is to get this Meepo level 3 as fast as possible so you can start farming up the woods. When you go Earthbind level 1 on the Meepo, farming up is a little bit more difficult than a support Magnus or support Tiny. It looks like Yapsor is the one to get the farm. Is very peculiar. Solo off-lane Lich. I think they probably could have gotten more by throwing Levi up towards top to get some experience on the mag, rather than just leaving Pedrinho solo. We'll have to see how useful this Chain Frost is going to be once it comes out to really get a grip onto how these lanes are working for BBC.
I really think the Aghanim's going to come out this time. I'm pretty sure. Like, Aghanim plus Magnus, definitely the combo they're going for here. If they're putting the Lich in a core position, the only issue I see is the Blink for the Magnus for Levy, which is probably their main initiator, the biggest initiator. It's going to be really delayed, so they're probably going to rely on the toss, I guess, from Yapsor. So, very interesting initiation they're going to go for. Now, Made Miracle going on FN. FN in trouble. Well, actually, might be Miracle in trouble. He has a static remnant, so he should be okay, but Miracle is actually not going to fall anymore. He has a couple regen tangos, so he's going to be okay for now.
Yeah, it's just traded blows. Axe going to go for creep cutting. They're going to destroy a bunch of these trees, as Levi is going to get into a little bit of a fist fight with the Dazzle. Boots advantage going towards Levi means that the Dazzle actually can't win that. The Axe is still flexing his muscles, and as we see in most of these lanes, the CS advantage is going the way of Little Busters, kind of to be expected. These lanes aren't particularly strong for BBC.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of an understatement even. And the only lane that would I guess would be sort of okay is Miracles right now, because I mean yeah, the Storm deals really well with anyone that's melee, but a Star can usually deal with any melee any hero mid, so he should be okay for now. Bottom, meanwhile, though, Bad in trouble. Actually, no, it might be YapzOr who's in trouble because Bad is just too tanky. He's going to go on the Tiny now. There's no sort of stun. Oh, wow. Now they're going to go on the Meepo, who's going to level his skill just in time to get killed by the Axe and, I guess, to reduce the respawn time. Very smart by his part, but that Tiny toss was, I don't know...
questionable, to say the least.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
I really have no idea. I want to see the genius behind this, but I just can't.
I mean, I don't know, that was just kind of a dick move, but I guess if YapzOr is being the carry, it was justified. It does seem like I don't really know that Meepo's being a core or a support here. It does seem like he's being a core by his items, but a support by his playstyle.
I mean, he has been getting the CS mostly inside the lane, but it seems that they're just giving it to whoever can. Wee is in bottom as well as mid. Now he does have level 3s. Picking a fight with Bad and is going to be able to poof in that second Meepo, netting him down, looking for the poof damage. Stopping hitting him, make sure that Bad doesn't get too many spins off. He's going to get the call off. He just needs one more spin. Net down by Wee, going to send his lower Meepo back under the tier 2 tower, and they just need a little bit more damage. The shockwave is going to fly through, healed up by the Abaddon, and now he's going to get shielded up. His shield is going to pop. He just needs one more spin. The shield pop is going to do him in. Toss up in the air. Bad's getting healed again. The sustain from Little Busters is too much, and it's going to be a clean 2-0, and Bad survives.
Jesus, Little Busters playing a really amazing game here with especially his supports here, keeping Abaddon alive for so long, and now he's pretty much back to full health. He has some mana as well. I mean, just wasted the clarity, but whatever. So, like right now, they're doing really well here, and now it's gonna be FN who's gonna be found out by Miracle, and he cannot do anything right now. He's not level 6 just yet. He's gonna try to kill Miracle, but FN has no chance of killing this Stark if he just runs away, and YapzOr just comes in for the couple of last hits.
Yeah, even after dying twice, Meepo has still been involved in 2 kills, and now they're gonna put some pressure in mid. All the while, Axe farming down towards bottom and just flexing his muscles. There's actually nothing they can do to get this Axe out of their bottom lane with the Abaddon and Dazzle behind him. The Lich is constantly being a nuisance to the Timbersaw, but alone can't actually stop him from farming, and Timbersaw is getting plenty of levels. Tier 1 tower down towards bottom is going to fall just to the creep wave.
Thanks for that sacrifice, though. Lich is pretty good in levels. He has Chain Frost already, so I guess he wants to start looking for kills. The only issue is Magnus is only level 3, and Magnus needs even more levels than Lich, so I don't really know how the issue is going to go. Now they're going to go on Oxen. He's in a lot of trouble. Oh no, they're going to go for the courier. Never mind, the courier is just really shiny. It distracted them for a sec.
Yeah, not actually a way that they can get that courier, they just weren't close enough. Blink Dagger freshly picked up by the Axe at almost 5 minutes in, a little bit more than that. And this is incredibly scary. When you get free farm, as well as being involved in 4 kills, you can get a Blink Dagger this fast, and if he spots out Miracle, even for a split second, things could go disastrously for the Slark. This game is impossibly hard to actually watch, as Wee is everywhere, and right now, he's in a place that he probably doesn't want to be. Pulled back to cancel that poop, perfectly timed by the Storm Spirit, and he's going to be dropped down. Well-executed kill onto the Wee, making him 1-3-1.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's going to be Tiny. No, with another toss, the Abaddon to the tower. Abaddon should be able to get away. No, what a beautiful pounce. It's going to be ZJK now in trouble. Healing Waves comes in, and it's going to be Slark to die to FN in the end. Who got a double kill. Levy now going in to kill Mr. Storm, but he has Ball Lightning just yet. I mean, a couple more. Yeah, the Soul Ring plus the Ball Lightning should be enough to get him out of there. Who did he kill earlier?
I think he got the Meepo kill, and then killed the Slark as well.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Alright.
Well, fair enough. Right now, BBC playing incredibly aggressively, but not actually doing much with it. 2-6, they're not taking these trades, they're not farming. This is going to create a huge advantage towards the Little Busters side. It's actually incredible to see the difference between net worth on the heroes of BBC. It's actually only 200 gold that separates them.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive, honestly, if you look at like, you would expect a little more of a difference here, but it's really just the Axe here who is the Axe is farming incredibly well, the Storm as well, and they're just taking away the farm from everyone from ABC.
We again looking for blood up towards top. Timberchain's going to fly through him. He nets down the Timbersaw, looking for the poof damage, but Wee's dropping a little too low to be comfortable with the Dazzle Grave, as well as one more Timberchain. Meepo is going to die. And, well, I couldn't speak there. Toss in from the bad, and he is going to be thrown into the creep wave. He drops his shield, but the Chain Frost committed towards this. They just need one more bounce towards him. Not going to find it. Just a little bit more damage with Skewer forward. Levi not going to be able to get it as he is denied by that Mist Coil, and it's going to make it a 1-for-1 as Bad mops up the Slark down towards bottom, it seems.
Yeah, using that Culling Blade if I'm not mistaken, and that's just really good. He might want to go for Scepter, actually, considering the amount of domination they're having. And the issue I see here is BBC went for a pretty aggressive lineup, or at least they're playing very aggressively, but they're playing against the wrong team aggressively. You can't play like that against an Axe, Dazzle, and Abaddon combo together with Storm Spirit and Timbersaw. They're just unkillable. It's really hard to actually find them without any sort of stuns.
Yeah, with these heroes in particular, if they had maybe like a Lion or Vengeful Spirit, more standard, hard lockdown supports, maybe they could go for it. But right now, BBC, I think they need to hold their horses, wait a little bit. You need a little bit more before you can actually fight effectively.
I mean, where they excel is obviously the team fights because the RP is there and the Meepo is there. And also the split pushing because they do have a Tiny, which is pretty strong, a Meepo. And they can really excel if they take it to the mid to late game. But if they keep being this aggressive in the early game, they're just going to, lose the game before it even starts.
And currently bad. It is going to be looking towards that Ags. Blink and call onto Pedrinho. Isn't going to get very many spins this time around, but it might just be enough. They only need a little bit more damage. They can't find it. Getting bottled up by Miracles. They bring in the Meepo to poof down some camps. ZJK is going to be thrown up to the air and cratered on impact. Can't survive as level 4 Abaddon. There are going to be some pings throwing out. Maybe it looks like Yapsor is a little bit uncomfortable with them stealing his kill. But either way, things are still looking good for Little Busters.
Yeah, Little Busters are currently taking pretty good domination this game. In fact, it's only the supports, if I'm mistaken, that have died. The supports in Storm. Right now, they're taking a kill mid, though, and it's going to be FN now fighting Miracle. No. Not going to find him.
Yeah. In the meantime, Axe was making his way with that Lich down towards bottom. Just a handful of spins. Miracle going to bump into both the Dazzle and the Axe, and not a place that this Slark can be incredibly comfortable. But then again, it's unlikely that Little Busters could actually kill him. They are going to be looking up towards top. Wee's already been dropped down low. Toss onto the Timbersaw, going to Timberchain, look for the TP out. And is it actually going to succeed? And net a little too late, and Yapsor does not have any points into Avalanche.
Wow, what? What? Just all toss, full toss Tiny build. This is, so it's Tiny for initiate. This is essentially a moving Blink Dagger.
Yes.
Okay, well. This is interesting, very interesting. I don't know if this is genius or just crazy.
I think it's erring on the crazy side.
Okay, just checking here. I don't know. I don't know how much I like this build. I was saying about the split pushing, whatever, but that's not a possibility if you run this Tiny like this way. So I don't know. I don't know if BBC has a good mid game or late game. I really don't know what to say here. I think it's probably pretty bad if they go with these builds.
Yeah, it really feels like they're not taking it entirely seriously, and hopefully for them, they're having fun. It looks like Little Busters are currently in a pretty commanding position that I didn't expect them to be in. Vision thrown out mid by the Storm Spirit, trying to find somebody to jump on. Isn't going to find that target. I really want this wee Meepo to explode, however, but right now there just isn't that much room. He's going to pick up his Point Booster or Ogre Club, whichever one he decides for, and it is going to have Point Booster towards the Ags, but as far as Meepos are concerned, this is a very slow start.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. Now they're going to go on bad down bottom, though. He could be in trouble, but he is an Axe after all, and Abaddon is coming to help him. And Axe might want to initiate here. He does have a Blink Dagger. He could go on Padrino, but he's not going to do it just yet. No, he's kind of playing this defensively. Miracle is also lurking in the shadows, waiting to get a kill. He could be able to, but wait, Meepo meanwhile dying to Source Spirit mid, and actually Yapsor going down as well mid. The fight down bottom not breaking out yet. Axe goes in with a call. Padrino now in trouble. Padrino's going to receive the damage from the shield, and the Culling Blade's going to come out just yet. He's a little bit more damage on Padrino. Just 200 more. There it is. The Culling Blade double dunk there because it was a double 2 Culling Blade. And meanwhile behind Miracle going on ZJK. He wants to kill him. Does not have level 6 just yet. He really wants to kill. ZJK cannot deny himself just yet. No, he's too late. Bad. Now being hit by the Meepos in complete trouble. He's going to go down in Dazzle. The only guy left. Storm coming in. Timbersaw. The reinforcements are here. Yabs are now in trouble. Can Timbersaw and Storm bring him down? They will try to. Yeah, he will go down. Which one is left? No? Okay, the 2 cores are left actually from the BBC team for a core and a support from Santi.
Yeah, honestly, right now, labels for BBC aren't meaning very much. That does cost them a buyback on the Tiny, but at this point, that Tiny is just a toss. They kill off the Axe, and that's nice and all, but it's still a decent trade for the Little Busters. We is going to get a lot of levels out of that, or at least be working towards them. And the Slark surviving is nice and all for BBC, but it still doesn't feel like it's enough. The Meepo very aggressively jungling on the enemy side, but now with that Aghanim Scepter, the dunks are going to be coming out, and very liberally too, from Bad.
Yep, I mean, that Aghanim is actually really, really quick. 12 minutes, blink and Aghanim, that's insane, man. That's not something you see every day. And on the Slark, this is lethal. I mean, how far is he from the actual Aghanim's threshold? 300, I mean, sorry, 500 away? Like, that's 500 damage to the Slark, and he can already get Calling Bladed. That's horrible.
It really is. And they are going to start controlling up the map. Bad going to continue his creep cutting up towards top as Timbersaw and the two sustaining supports behind him will take a tier 1 tower down in mid. And right now, Wee's probably in the safest place on the map for him, and that's deep inside enemy woods.
Yeah, actually, that's the issue. I mean, they do need to put some more... Oh, now they're going to go on Levy? No, they just can't find them just yet. It seems like the guys at Little Busters are getting a little bit cocky here. You'll see by Storm Spirit actually going on Levy. Maybe it's a justified cockiness. He's about to kill Levy. Just one more hit out to do it. No, they actually can't manage to get the last hit. And Oxen now trying to go on Miracle. The RP comes in, but missing. And they actually managed to kill Levy really easily. Now Miracle is going to follow suit. And... the tower is not going to actually be taken because they want to back off, maybe? No.
Well, for now, it's going to be Little Busters to continue their assault on the enemy base. The tosses in from the Tiny, I must say, have felt more like trolling tosses than actually trying to accomplish anything. Over in the sidelines, they find Pandrino. He's got to be dunked down and spun down by Bad. Going to be a pretty easy kill for Little Busters. And right now, there's just really no stopping this Axe.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Aghanims and Blink at minute like 12, I think it was, how do you stop an Axe like that? You really need something against him. On Levy being cut out completely, the Calling Buzz is going to come down. That's a dead Levy. Meanwhile, ZJK actually regenerates some health thanks to the tower. Miracle going to go on him, maybe. But Miracle is in a lot of trouble. He's going to get called in a couple seconds. No, Bad's not going to choose to do that. Now Storm comes in, goes on Miracle. Miracle is actually going to be... No, the Storm's going to get tossed in. He's going to die there. Yabzorn going on Bad, trying to kill him, but... Oh, he got Avalanche. Woo! Level 1 Avalanche.
Yeah, actually going to throw out that stun for once, but right now this Calling Blade is just way too scary. Long zip in from the Storm Spirit, entirely dropping his mana pool. They can't even dunk him, he dies so fast as the Timbersaw rips him to shreds. Tier 2 tower in mid, still standing as the Storm Spirit gets ulted by the Lich and brought down. There's actually no way they could actually come back into this fight. The Abaddon's low does not have ultimate up, but Timbersaw is maintaining his position behind the Tier 2 tower. And that's still standing, actually, at 144 HP. Little Busters still haven't done it in.
Meepo, meanwhile, up top, actually using this kind of his split pushing abilities we talked about earlier. He's going for Agans as well. He's actually pretty close to it, 900 away. So I guess that's the plan right now. Split push to die, or maybe. I think it is.
He's completely fine. He'll be able to poof back towards mid, as the Timbersaw really has no way to actually lock down that Meepo. As you said, he is getting very, very close towards that Aghanim Scepter. It's not the fastest of timings for the Meepo, and he'd really love to be where the axe is, but maybe he's coming back into it. Jump in mid, they get the double call, and now the Cole onto the Lich, and looking towards Yapzor is just getting chunked down by Bad. Solo RP, Avalanche going to connect, they look for the toss, toss is going to connect, he spins, but not enough. That is going to be the ending of a dominating spree, and a lot of gold in the pockets of Yapzor. Buyback from the axe. He's angry, and he wants some blood, he's going to go right back towards mid.
That's the definition of a rage back. That's what is he going for, by the way? Perseverance here, not refresher. No, Battle Fury, Lincoln's.
I don't think it actually matters. Long zip in from the Storm Spirit in mid. He's looking for Yapzor. Can't even find it. He's gonna die to the tower. Yapzor living on double digits HP, and right now it feels like the counter throw is real coming out from Little Busters. They keep on rage by backing, and at this point we might be able to come back in. And FN, he is not a happy camper.
Nope. That seems wrong chat. Oh, okay. Like all chat. Okay, I get it. Blink on the Tiny though, gonna give him a lot of more mobility, more troll tosses per minute, so that's pretty good, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's good for his team or not, but
Well, jump in mid, looking for the call. What is good for their team is that they get Meepo split pushing bottom. Bad going to get the call. He's not getting very many spins, but then again, he's not taking that much damage. Levi and company are trying to drop him down. They'll chain frost him up, toss him into the air, but the Shallow Grave going to save Bad, at least for now. Going to dunk creep, trying to get him some extra movement speed. Not going to happen, as Lich going to be able to right-click him down. The Storm Spirit has joined the fray again, and that Axe is really losing a lot of his momentum. And BBC are gaining quite a bit. They're going to smoke up in mid and look for more. The Storm Spirit should be pretty safe here as he has a good amount of mana, but they are going to jump in. They get the Avatos onto the Storm, going to crater him. Holy cow, that damage. And, well, BBC, they find their foothold back into this game. If you take a look at that graph, from a 10,000 gold advantage towards Little Busters, it's now zeroed out completely in both gold and experience.
That's actually quite insane, considering how dominating the Axe was. I mean, it's still his prime time. It's still, close to the mid game and whatnot. So obviously, it's in the time he's going to be the strongest. And they just seem to be doing so many misplays, I would say, that they're just losing.
And we now, with the level 11 ulti, is going to have a whole plethora of Meepos at his disposal, jumping from the Timbersaw, not going to throw out the Chakram, however. And it looks like we are going to be able to cleanly poof out of there. He poofs one back in. That is the main Meepo to get the RP onto 2. Where's the follow-up damage? Element toss onto the Dazzle is going to finish him off as the Timbersaw, netted up, is going to be purged off by the Abaddon. They can't pursue onto that Timbersaw as he makes it out, but the Abaddon himself is not going to be so lucky. They do get a long-range net onto Oxen, but can't actually follow that one up as Axe TP's in, looking for the call, catches out Padrino as well as one of Weave's Meepos. They will be able to burst him down, or no. Toss comes out from Yapsor, and actually Padrino is going to survive. They pull back one, that's going to be the end of Magnus's life, and now Miracle inside the ultimate form is dropping Bad down to about half HP. Lich ultimate going to be committed before the Lich dies, only going to get one bounce back and forth onto Bad and FM, as Bad is finished up by Miracle, and Miracle is going to town with 13 stacks of Essence Shift. It looks like FN might be able to make his way out of here, and that's going to be all she wrote. A really awkward game, pubby if you will. Net's coming out from Wee, looking for the poof damage, can't actually find it as Timbersaw kills off the Tiny on impact, not expecting him to look for that tree. Net going to be wide thrown by Wee as they look to collapse on his Meepo, poofing out. They have no way to cancel it, and he is going to be just fine. Zephan didn't commit the pull, but they find Miracle over in the sidelines. He was hiding inside the trees, and all he wanted to do was to have a little nap, but they are going to deny that from him.
Wow, that was a crazy team fight. I mean, the Game of Thrones getting thrown again by BBC, and now it seems like the guys at Little Busters could be able to possibly capitalize into a tower, maybe? I mean, you really can't tell in this game anymore. Meanwhile, it is going to be Meepo who's going to be split pushing somewhat, 2 lanes at the same time. And he does have Ags, like you mentioned, so he has a lot of Meepos, and he can use that strategy to just kind of bring him back whenever he wants. I guess the key point here is get the Meepos to die, and then you can apply more pressure.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. They do have Empower at their disposal as well, and a lot of heroes that are pretty good at abusing that. And even after a handful of troll tosses from this Tiny, he's been doing a lot of work, Yapsor. Just obliterating enemies with that full combination. It is very scary, even though we're more used to seeing the carry-oriented Tiny. It's very easy to forget how much damage he can put out. Up towards top, Axe actually finds a kill onto the Meepos. It looks like he blunk aggressively in, or if not, just got a couple too many lucky spins. Honestly thought Meepo would be okay. Tiny, looking into the jungle, is going to spot eyes on FN shortly. I'm not exactly sure who spotted who. Zip down to the low ground from FN's going to keep him safe. And for now, BBC are just kind of chilling. The Timbersaw is close by, and nobody's actually fighting yet.
Yeah, right now FN seems to be the one to be catching out Levy, actually. Levy gonna go down, maybe. They just need... I mean, he has enough mana to zip a couple times, but I don't know if it's enough to catch Levy here. And he's... okay, just gonna leave, okay. Doesn't need this Magnus kill.
Yeah, there's actually just nothing that's going to happen, honestly. I think that it really doesn't matter much at all. We do have Yapsor in mid, potentially looking for a combo, but Bad's not the one that he can actually focus down. Even after getting that Perseverance quite some time ago, he hasn't actually committed to anything further. It's probably a Linken's, or maybe he just wanted that extra bit of regen. Slark going to bump into the Storm Spirit, and both of them are just going to casually walk away. Shadowblade used by the Slark, no detection on the Storm Spirit, no detection on the Dazzle, except for a Sentry. Drop down to the ground. The Pounce is going to connect it into Bad. Well jumped by the Axe. Are they able to actually lock him down? However, the call has already been spent. Miracle is going to make his way towards the left. Pounce away, and now some backup. Bad might be caught out of position. Do we have anybody else close by? He's going to blink in, look for the call, catches out Padrino. They're going to get the RP, connects onto 2. Dazzle Shallow Grave going to be spent as Lich Ultimate flies through, but mostly absorbed by the Creepwood. Padrino, they're looking for the dunk, but it is going to be cancelled. He's not low enough. They'll toss up one, dagging down the Storm, and that's going to be the end of his life. Oxen still looking for a target to find on. He's just kind of running around through his team fight, going to miss with the Chakram. Eventually connects on the Yapsword, but tossed away into the loving arms of Miracle. Miracle going to be dunked down by the Axe, and now looking for the double dunk from Patronos, a little too healthy. Avalanche going to fly through. They're going to Frost Blast him up. That's not a man fight. The Patrono can win alone, but with the Yapsword coming in with the toss, you bet he can. They'll throw a Shockwave over the top of the Dazzle. Looking for the skewer back, is going to miss. Levi not going to be able to connect. They blink forward with Wee, going to be able to get that, and now looking for the poof damage, is going to connect, and there is no Grave available. Was on cooldown, didn't have the mana, even if he wanted it. It's not over yet, as Timbersaw over in the sidelines is fighting over with the Apsor. Chains over to the Roshan pit tree. Do they have a way to cancel it? No. And the Dagon was not available, and nor did Yapsor have any mana for it. And up towards the north of this fight, they'll kill off the Abaddon, as it looks like that's going to round it out 1-4.
Wow. Just wow. I mean, these guys were the ones that we were saying, you know, they're joking around. We thought they were just at least having fun, and now they just dominate this game, and they're actually making this weird lineup work. Now they might be able to take Roche with the power of the Meepo, so... Or not, never mind. They don't want to take it just yet. I guess they want to defend their towers first. And it's really the split-pushing Meepo that is defending their team the most. The pressure that Wei is creating is just so great that the enemy team can really take a team fight and be comfortable about it.
Yeah, and at this point, they have all of the core items that they really need to actually be effective. Even though Levi was mostly played as a pulling support on this Magnus, he has a Blink, and for Mag, that's pretty much all you need, although items on top of that are useful and all. Level 11 with Blink, that's pretty much all you can ask for. They're making space for the Meepo as he starts pulling Ed, and most importantly, it's been Little Busters to lose grip of this game. You have Boots of Travel now for the Axe, but even though that's a nice item to have, it's not going to win this game. Slark is going to find a kill on the Dazzle. Apologies for missing that one. Right now, it's actually hard to tell where the action is going to be as they look potentially to re-engage. Miracle, the chain is going to miss, however, and he'll be able to pounce over the trees and make his way out. The Axe is nowhere close.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, they don't really want to lose this Slark most definitely. He's quite a key hero in this lineup right now. He's dealing a lot of damage in the team fights, and as long as he doesn't get caught by the Axe, he should be okay. Now they're going to find him, though. He's in a bad position here. Miracle has a pounce. He should be able to get away right now, but... Oh, it is the beautiful toss by Tiny just to get a little more time for the Axe, for the Miracle, but no. For the Miracle. Miracle's actually going to go down there. Bad. Now searching for another kill. Has no call for 3 another seconds. And Padrino being caught up by the storm. The stun comes out as well. And it's Japsword. Next one to go. No, it's the Chain Frost actually going to do a lot of damage. A missed RP by the Magnus. We now going on ZJK. ZJK has his ultimate. And it's going to take quite a while to kill him off. They're trying to actually maybe finish him off with a poof. And they're going to be able to. Meanwhile, the comeback coming out. No comeback, never mind. Bad coming in with a Culling Blade, trying to kill a couple heroes, but Miracle, it's just too strong at this point. He has no way to kill Bad with his Shallow Grave, and it seems like he's just going to go down. Meanwhile, Magnus dying with that beautiful, beautiful, strong Shadow Wave. And in comes Timbersaw, who has his travel boots now. He's going to be decimated by the Meepo, trying to kill him off with the amazing damage that every Meepo deals, and the Slark's still there. Now going to go for the Dazzle, the poof, just to finish him off, and... What a hectic team fight. Jesus Christ. I don't know who won and who lost, to be honest.
Who actually knows? Buybacks galore spent by BBC on, I believe, both the Meepo and the Tiny, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong. Looks like Meepo and Slark, excuse me. But, I mean, they do get a decent amount in return. Right now, I think the state of the game is more or less exactly the same, except for Axe is starting to pick up some momentum back. After going for a casual perseverance, it looks like it's going to be some sort of armor item for him, as Tiny upgrades his Dagon further.
I mean, I don't know if he is going to be able to sustain the constant use of the Dagon, but it's definitely going to be a lot of burst damage if he decides to use it in combination with the Toss and obviously the Avalanche once he gets level 16.
He finds himself a free Storm with the Avalanche Dagon combination, and right now there's a lot of heroes perching, looking to find a fight, but nobody actually taking it. With the DD on the Meepo, they'll snag themselves a Roshan very easily and then poof out to safety, all but one, and it looks like they'll probably send him home shortly. Okay, there you go. Wee's back in business. Shadowblade up towards top, going to be a jump onto the Timbersaw. Does Slark have enough damage? I don't think so, nor does he have the chasing power, but he might prove me wrong. Pounce is not going to connect onto the Timbersaw, drop down to about half damage, as 7 stacks of that Essence Shift have been stolen. He's going to ult for this as he chases him further, but in the meantime, Meepo going to town onto Bad. He's trying to solo him up and can't do so. With the Aegis, they are going to potentially grave up this Axe as well as drop a shield onto him as he tries to spin down this Meepo and is going to be able to dunk him down. But now that the grave is worn off, it looks like the Axe is going to fall. The Timbersaw does make it out to safety. But Wee doesn't die either. Are they actually able to connect onto Bad? He's going to be healed up as Miracle looks for blood. Going to find the Dazzle instead, and now going to burst him down. Avalanche going to connect, and now Bad going to be burst down by the Meeple with all of the poofs, and now ZJK is the only one standing in this side of the map as they bring in the Timbersaw over the sidelines. He's going to be able to shield himself, but doesn't protect you from the Dagon. Long zipping from the Storm as it looks like somebody's disconnected.
Oh, I don't know if that was a rage disconnect. Oh, what? What's happening? Jesus Christ, did they just leave?
I have no idea what to make of this game.
Is that?
I really have no idea.
We are watching Bridon right now, aren't we? Right? Like I'm sure we are sure of that.
Maybe. Okay. Well, GG to Balkan Bears. They secure themselves a position 1 spot in the Bridon League winner bracket. So that's that. We're going to have another game with BBC coming up shortly against Basically Unknown. So hopefully that one's a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next game.